Welcome to footballgameplan.com.
Where football makes sense.
This is the 2009 Atlanta Falcons' team preview. Alongside Cornell Hunter, I'm Tyler Merkovich, and Falcons GM Thomas Dimitroff rewards Matt Ryan for his great rookie season by acquiring future Hall of Famer and tight end from the Kansas City Chiefs, Tony Gonzalez, another weapon to add to that prolific offense. What's the offensive outlook in 2009?
Well, with any team, if you want to know how far they're going to get, you have to start at the quarterback position. Last year, Matt Ryan proved that he was more than capable of leading that team to the playoffs. Dimitroff rewards him with a reliable target, one of the best ever at the tight end position. Coming into his second year, you can bet that Matt Ryan is going to rely heavily on Tony Gonzalez. Another key weapon in that offensive scheme is Michael Turner. Michael Turner was a guy who many thought that was just a backup to LaDainian Tomlinson. He came in last year and rushed for 1,699 yards, 1 yard shy of 1,700 yards in his first year in the Atlanta Falcons system. They also have Jarius Norwood, who serves as a change of pace back. He's known to pop off the big run every now and then, so you can look for the Falcons to have continued success in the ground game. They also sport Roddy White as their number one receiver. This guy is vastly improved from his rookie year. They have Harry Douglas, who brings a lot of speed from the slot. They have a big guy in Michael Jenkins, who can play the possession role. He still hasn't lived up to a number one pick, but he's settled into a nice possession receiver. So their receivers are good. The tight end is all world, and the ground game is phenomenal. So look for Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons to have another successful year. And the offensive line has been vastly improved. Last year, they only gave up 17 sacks on the entire season. So on the offensive side of the ball, the Atlanta Falcons should do it better. If not, they should be as good as they were last year.
Well, probably their downfall last year was their defense, and John Abraham kind of carrying that defense. First-round pick is Pariah Jerry at Ole Miss, defensive tackle. Are they going to use him? What's the defensive look like?
I expect Jerry from Ole Miss to step in and start from day one. There's not much on the line that can replace him or supplement his play. That's why they drafted him with the number one pick. They also rely heavily on Abraham, but as you mentioned, Abraham has had a history of being injured. Last year he was healthy, and when he's healthy, he's one of the best in the league. They also acquired help in the middle with Mike Peterson playing on the outside in the linebacker position, so you can expect him to step in the spot that Keith Brooking vacated when they released him. So the linebacking core is good. You have a good edge rusher in John Abraham, and you're going to have that middle clogged up by Jerry. So the front four and the back three should be pretty good.
Of course, Mike Smith's ties to Jacksonville. He brings over his former player from Jacksonville, Mike Peterson. That's why he might have wanted him.
Yes, and they have a history. And you also have to look at the secondary. Now, that is a position where they may feel some sort of struggles this upcoming year. They lose Foxworth to free agency. I think he signed with Baltimore. And at the end of the day, they only have Chris Houston, who they took in the first round out of Arkansas. He's a bit of a smaller corner, has good speed, but hasn't showed any flashes of being a dominant corner in this league. Chevis Jackson out of LSU, he played decent last year, but nothing much to really get excited about and expect him to be an all-world corner. Now, on the back end, they lose Lawyer Malloy, but they drafted safety William Moore out of Missouri. Moore had a standout junior year where he intercepted a lot of passes. Senior year, kind of disappeared. Stock fell in the draft, and so there's a big question mark in the Atlanta Falcons secondary for this upcoming year. They may struggle on the back end with the two corners and the safeties over the top.
Someone needs to step up in that secondary, but hopefully their deficiencies and the secondary won't hurt them enough, but hopefully they can make up for it on the special teams unit. What's their special teams looking like in 2009?
On special teams, I would go with Harry Douglas if they would put him back there for punt returns due to his shiftiness and his speed, but you can't overlook the value of a veteran kicker. And the Atlanta Falcons have one of the best in the business with Jason Elam. This guy has been reliable for over a decade, and last year he was 29 of 31 on all of his field goals attempts. And in this league, not having a kicker can kill you. So the Atlanta Falcons, they should be good with their special teams unit.
Well, we know how this division played out last year with the home teams absolutely dominating. Falcons wild card pick last year. They made the playoffs. What's their outlook? What do you think? What do you predict them in the NFC South?
Well, the NFC South is an ever-changing division. You know that for a good run of years, they had from first to last, from last to first every year. So my biggest concern with the Falcons is this. Last year, they surprised a lot of teams, a new coaching staff, not much film on them. This year, teams have had an offseason to prepare. They have a year's worth of game film. And if you tend to notice, teams that have a surprising year typically struggle that second year because nobody is surprised by them. They won't shock anybody. This upcoming 2009 season, the Falcons are going to get their best from everybody they play. And due to playing in the tough NFC South with a new and improved Saints team, Carolina is always competitive, and you have a new coach down in Tampa doing some things. So due to the struggles and the familiarity that other teams will have, I say the Falcons may finish third in this division because it's going to be a very tough division. I think they may end up around 8 wins. They could get more depending, but I look for the Falcons to finish third because they won't surprise people this year. A good team. They're still building. Keep in mind, Coach Mike Smith is in his second year. He has some pieces to fill on that defense, but the Falcons will be a competitive team no matter what.
They are the Hunted this year. Let's see how they played different last year as the Hunters, Mr. Hunter. That's Cornell Hunter. I'm Tyler Merkovich. For more NFL team previews, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL.